Happy Wheel Wednesday. Sorry we're a few minutes late. If you have any questions, start throwing them in. We'll be happy to answer them like we do every Wednesday. That's what we do. We come here, we answer your questions. So that's pretty much that. Let's talk about what happens on Friday when we drop our piece of content like we always do on our YouTube channel, KONIG WHEELS USA. This will be kind of a fun one, I think. We basically go through the history of Honda's Type R designation. So we talk about all the Type Rs and kind of how it came to be and kind of how these cars evolved and what Type R means to Honda and I guess what Type R means to us. So make sure you check that out. Again, that's going up on Friday. And our podcast today actually talks about an interesting subject. We have people that randomly write in telling us that wheels are rusting, and that's a fallacy. So we address it. We talk about it. It's a little bit about wheel maintenance, a little bit about wheel cleaning, and a lot about what you need to know if you feel like you might see something that resembles dust on your aluminum wheels. So that's what we talk about. That's at 3 o'clock time. So just in about 48 minutes, 47 minutes, something like that. Time over on our YouTube channel, KONIG WHEELS USA. If you're not subscribed, make sure you do so. Listen, I'll give you the heads up. We have a lot of people in here yet, or not really?
Yeah, getting in there.
We are going to be doing something very, very cool in kind of the few weeks around Black Friday. I'm telling you guys here because you guys are the pretty loyal people that come in and hang out with us. And we're trying to work on some stuff. I can't say it's 100% done, but I think it's looking pretty good.
Give us a little hint.
No, I don't think I'll be doing that.
You know.
But there's going to be something cool going on around that time. So we're trying to put some other pieces into play. Stay tuned. And if you are not subscribed to our email list for our newsletter, you're going to want to do that because that's going to get shot out to, however many tens of thousands of people are on that list. It's going to get shot out details there to kind of give you guys a heads up as being a kind of a thank you for hanging out with us. So make sure you take a look at that. Stay tuned. Again, if you have any questions, throw them in and I'll do my best to answer them.
Got a few. Diego says, Can I have free wheels? I'm too broke, my guy.
No, I hear you on the broke thing, man, but we'll be here when you're ready.
Giga Civic says, what wheels and sizes do you recommend for FK8 Type R?
Interesting that you bring that up. We actually have a fit check that we have already done. It's on our YouTube channel. Make sure you go over there and just check it out. It is the Type R wheel check. Yep. So we'll cover all that stuff. Personally, I really like 18.5, 35, 40, somewhere in that range. It gives you kind of the ability to run a decent amount of tire, but also kind of really makes the car look very aggressive.
Quartz 3 says, I need a 8.5 machine lip hypergram restock.
Okay. My guess is that's happening. So if you want, just message us. We can get you to the ETAs.
Track Days and 2Gay Run says, I was questioning if it was really Wheel Wednesday since I didn't get a Koenig live notification.
I know. Yeah, so appreciate that, first off.
I spaced a little bit,
so loyal. We were, I think, both doing stuff, and, well, it happens. Sorry.
I think this hasn't happened in years, so you could blame that on me. Sorry about that.
Well, I don't even know. I was in something, too, so we were just kind of doing our thing.
Drifter Gone Wild in the house.
He says, up, Adam? How are you doing?
I finally sent you that new T-shirt. Time to get excited.
Oh, sick. All right. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
He also says, by the way, did you guys see the Ultragrams on our S550 Mustang?
I have not, but don't go by me because I live under a rock. It's very difficult for me to kind of hit my own social or look around. I just don't have a lot of time. So, but I will check now that you've mentioned.
Ian A71 says, do you guys still make rewinds in 14?
No. We stopped making the 14. It has to be... when did I get rid of my Celica?
Nice, you had a Celica?
Yeah, I had a 72 Celica. I got rid of that car. Man, it has to be probably 8 years ago now with the 14-inch. It was just one of those things. What happens is eventually over time, certain demands fall out. And the 14-inch was one of those ones that started to fall off. And we still do 15 and 16, but I know, I get it.
Alex Lazo says, any lug nut recommendations for my HT2s on a 2022 Bronco?
First off, so psyched that you got a set of HT2s. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Please send us pictures, especially in a Bronco. That's super sick. Look, as far as lug nuts go, my recommendation is this. I tend to prefer Gorilla lug nuts. I like the brand. I understand that they're now acquired and owned by Wheel Pros, so you might think like, well, that's a weird suggestion, but I do like their lug nuts inherently. The ones that I always kind of jump more into are, I like the more, and they're not super truck, so you forgive me, I'm not a super truck guy. I like the forged steel lug nuts that they have, especially like, for me, I use the black open-ended ones, but they have a lot of good lug nuts. Just make sure that, go with something that's a little bit smaller. Don't go in anything that needs like a massive key in it. And I think a lot of the Gorilla stuff does.
What makes it a truck lug nut?
I don't know if it's a truck lug nut as far as, like there's these are truck ones, these are car ones, as much as they tend to be a little bit bigger. Mm-hmm. And they also tend to be, a little bit flatter or not be like more race design, the open-ended areas and mm-hmm. stuff. But I like the Gorilla forged steel stuff. I think it's repeatable. I think it, holds its own. I think that it doesn't really deform easily. And it seems to last a pretty long time on studs, So
Clink Racing says, I drift. You guys should sponsor me.
It's going to take more than you drifting because I drift and I suck and I don't have free will.
No, we got a great reply here.
If you get to that point, you let us know.
We got a great reply from Track Days. Says, I daily drive my POS. Y'all should sponsor me.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I wish we could. I wish we could sponsor everybody. I really do.
That's good.
Yeah.
Chords 3. Will there be a machine lip hypergram restock? I think we got that answer.
Yeah,
already.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, obviously, if there's a particular part number, maybe that we're a little off with. And here's the thing: we are redoing our website kind of actively. So, like, some of the specs right now are a little bit. How do I say that? Like, there may be a few that are missing from certain pages and stuff like that. For example, we came out with a bunch of new hypergram fitments, especially 19s. So, there's that. But unless the part number had been discontinued, they'll be restocked. I mean, there's just a good chance that, we have back orders. And unfortunately, back orders, while they can suck because you have to wait for your wheels, if you place an order with a retailer, those back orders hold your place in line. And so often what happens is you'll get a part number that's kind of hot or whatever, and, you'll have the wheel come in 2 or 3 times before they'll be available for you. And that's because if you don't place your order or have a back order placed, people get in front of you in the line, and as the wheels come in, they're kind of allocated and they go back out. So that happens once in a while, and that could be the case here.
I've had a back order on a camera with B&H for 10 months now.
Yeah, they're on the way.
Yeah, that'll eventually, one day.
Right.
J Rod Z says, Scott, what tires do you prefer on your wheels?
I think it depends. It depends on what application. I mean, I think a great bang for the buck tire, if you're going to be using them on the street, especially all season, I really like the Falcon stuff. I think it doesn't really have a lot of road noise. I think it is not super heavy, and I believe the tire quality is very good.
Good price.
I think the pricing is great on the Falcon stuff. So that's there's that. For some of my performance stuff, I tend to run Nittos because I heart them. Is this the heart? It's a mess.
I don't think it's like the when we do the podcast and you get the symbols with the hand thing. I don't think it's like that.
I never get symbols, but I also can't.
Hey, people are spamming the hearts though. That's cool.
Throw the hearts up because I can't do this.
10
Look
people
at
in
this.
here.
I'm never gonna get a real shape. This is crazy.
That's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Too many years of working on cars. Hands probably are arthritic. But anyhow, I like the Nitto stuff. I do think that if you have the bucks and the money and you want to go, there are certainly, depending on what your application is, if you're going onto a racetrack, there are certainly some bigger dollar tires. Here's the thing. I know a lot of people love, for the track, the Pilot Sport Cup 2s and stuff. I had them before. What I don't like is that for me, with Michelin, When you get down below that 50% tread marker, the tire starts to feel like it gets a lot harder. So I think it's a progressive. I don't know how they do that, but I always have a problem that I feel like I can only use the first 50% of that tire, and it's an expensive tire. So I like the Nitto stuff. It seems to be pretty consistent all the way down. But yeah, there's other tire brands that I think could do it. Sorry for the rant.
Drift Across the World says, I'm literally drifting across the world and it's hard to get sponsored.
Get out. That's super
Yeah, you
sick.
should tell us more about that.
Yeah, let us know more about that. That's super dope.
I'm sure you have a sponsorship deck if you're drifting around the world looking for sponsors,
And if
right?
you're not, just let us know what's
Yes.
going on. And that's interesting. I just want to know
That
the
is
story.
cool.
Does he have a website or a YouTube or something?
His Instagram is literally Drift Across the World.
Let us, like, if you have a YouTube, first off, if you don't have a YouTube, man, you're missing the boat because
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
like all that documentation.
I'd watch
You should be
that.
documenting the
I'd watch
crap out
that,
of it.
yep.
Anyhow, let us know what that is.
I'd love to know what car you're drifting around the world too. Dude with a spider, back order on the Mark 1s, hoping they come in soon.
Yeah, there are a few part numbers, probably about 5 or 7, that are back ordered pretty heavily, and we are trying to fill them as quickly as possible. I think 17.8 400 is one of them. I think 17.8 5.4.5 is another one. I think the 18.8.5 5.112. I think the 18.8.5 5.120. Yeah, there's definitely more that I could think of that off the top of my head that like we have a fair amount of them in production.
Track Days says, Scott, my guy, that's a melon, not a heart.
Yeah, that
was
feels
good.
probably like what it would have looked
That's
like.
good. That's good. Drifter Gone Wild. We have school cars now. Koenig team should make a field trip to Austin, Texas.
Yo, honestly, I'll do that. What's the easiest airport to get into? You go to Dallas
Austin,
Fort Worth?
right? Can't you just fly into Austin?
I don't know. Anyhow, that
We
was
got-
Drifter Gone Wild, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down. I would love to come down there.
Is it Drifter Gone Wild? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Future Mech says, does Koenig have a 400 3-spoke?
No. And if you've listened to this for a while, sorry, Micah, dude. I hate 3-spoke wheels. I hate them. Always
They're
have.
making a comeback, possibly.
I know, but here's the thing. I've always hated them. I don't like 3-spoke wheels. I don't like split 3-spoke wheels. I just think they're not my cup of tea. Now,
Here we go.
I know people like them. I like Ryan Literal. I know he loves that stuff. I've seen people, Fitment Industries, they have that Innova wheel. I can't stand them. I don't like them. I don't know what it is. We've had that in the past. We had a wheel called the C Sharp.
Who named that? That's a great name.
Yeah, we had a wheel called the C Sharp.
C
We
Sharp.
had another
treble
wheel.
clef.
I know, obviously there's been some really big popular JDM wheels. I just don't like them. It just feels really unnatural to me. I don't know.
We got a Goico asking, how can I be a reseller outside the United States?
Oh, that's simple. If you are a retailer or a wholesaler or anything like that, you just message us. You send an email to mail@konigwheels.com, and somebody will be able to kind of look into that. We have dealers. Our phone number is also on the website. If you go to the dealer locator and then click on outside the USA, you'll see what dealers, but you could also scroll right down to the bottom and it'll give you a phone number. You just give us a call in. You can send us an email to mail@konigwheels.com. We can look into it.
Warren TTI says, any plans to do aerodynamic wheel covers like you did with the Mark 1 for any other wheel models?
Yeah, it's a good question. The answer to that is probably, but not coming out for 25. Super difficult because, we've talked about this before, that the aero cover really is best when it's made around a particular wheel. It's not as good to me, and when I say to me, understand that, we're the ones that sit here and try to figure out how to make all these accessories work for you. What I mean by that is there's some other companies that had taken a stab at a lot of these things, and they may be very popular, but a lot of people had problems with this stuff, and we try to iron out all the details and really make it work perfectly and stay on and all that good stuff. I believe we did that. Now, with that comes a few things that become difficult. One of them is making a disc that will not come loose, flap, fly, do damage to a wheel. And by the way, there's an installation video that we actually did when we first put the thing out because of the fact that it needs to be put on correctly. But with that said, to make a universal disc, I don't think you can make a really good quality piece that isn't going to come with issues without it 100%. Our disc, when you put it on the Mark 1, it doesn't move, it has tabs, it doesn't go anywhere, it has rubber tabs when it's aligned correctly so that it stops noise, chatter, and stops the ability for the disc to scratch your wheels, again, when it's put on correctly.
It's nice. It's very
It's nice. It's nice. So we'd have to do it per wheel, and that tooling and the cost of those discs, they do get expensive.
We got Germer on YouTube asking, are you going to Diddy's party later?
No Diddy for me. No, I don't do that. I'm not a fan of baby oil. That's not my cup of tea. Man, isn't that a shame though? Let me just say this. First off, that's a shame all the way around, because I think the fact that there's people obviously that were victims and whatever the hell went on over there is a travesty all in itself. But like, to have that much money, that much fame, that much stardom, and need to have whatever the hell was going on over there,
he's sick.
Just feels
sick.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Who do you think this really famous person is?
Nope, I don't. There could be too many.
Can't wait.
There could be too many. Everybody went to those parties and documented.
It's true.
Like his white parties in the Hamptons. We live in Long Island, so like it's the Hamptons. Maybe another 45 minutes out, like, or an hour out. Depending on where you live. But you would. White parties, man. Like, he did them all the time. Like,
oh man,
crazy. All right, this is nuts. We're
you got your fill there, Germer.
Yeah.
Let's see. T Man says, what wheels would you recommend for a 2009 Mercedes ML 550?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think we're really gonna have a lot of good spec for that. So I don't know that I could recommend wheels there. Mercedes gets a little rough for me because it's like there's so many different variations and weights, especially when you start talking about the ML.
I've never even heard of that. ML?
Yeah, it's a little truck
body
thing. But the thing is, they tend to have some weight on them. There are a lot of companies that make wheels. I would go over to TireRack.com, pipe in your car, see what kind of comes up.
Boom. J-Zilla released their schedule for next year, and VIR is on the list for September. Scott, you should bring your 350Z.
Oh my God, I don't.
You should. So put that on a trailer, drive it down.
So Jay, here's my issue, and this has always plagued me a little bit. I know the car has all the parts. It has all the power. It's been tuned correctly. It's a great street car. I think with some fine tuning and some seat time, I think the car would actually be fairly decent. The problem I have is that the car is really clean, and I've spent my entire life taking every car I've built, and the first thing I did was take out every creature comfort. In this car, I went totally opposite. I just wanted to make a really fun driver that for the street that I could put all the OEM plus crap into and make it feel like it was still just part of the OE type of configuration, even though obviously it doesn't look exactly like an OE car. And I just don't know that I would ever push the car hard enough because it's clean enough, like on a racetrack. So I feel like I have to buy another car to be able to race it.
What about like a paint protection film for the day?
It's not just that though. Like, how can you push a car hard and not worry about going off?
Imagine how much fun that day would be, though.
I understand, but I just feel like I would rather just buy another $5,000, $10,000 car.
That makes sense.
If I could ever do that.
We got someone asking personal favorite Type R. Good question.
Now, when you say Type R, you're not restricting me to a Civic, right? Like, you're saying my favorite Type R. Okay. I have two answers to this. My favorite Type R is DC2. I
didn't expect that.
I really like that car. I think sentimentally, just the right timing, right when I was when I was really engulfed in kind of that sport compact movement to the point where, that car was a lust after car. It was the first, Did
you have one?
No.
Oh.
It was the first one that we ever got in the States. And when it came here, we were like super pumped. And, it was a rarity to see them kind of out in the wild for a while. And then eventually people obviously started getting some. Now, if you ask me, like, ever, like, if you could pick one Type R ever, well, then I'm going to selfishly tell you I want an NSXR.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Track days and 2K runs for VIR says you can always rent and drive for the day.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's a good
I mean,
one.
that's something I probably could do. Yeah.
Right as he says that, Jay Zilla Track Days joins in the chat. Nice.
Nice.
You, Ethan Kick, says, I'm really impressed by your hypergrams. I've yet to bend one.
Well, I appreciate that. Remember, though, wheels are metal, not magic. You go through enough potholes, you eventually, continuously go through things, you could potentially have damage. Continuously inspect your wheels, they're wear items. And remember that, load rating and use have a lot to do with it. So we do make wheels that have a heavier load rating. There's a lot of different options there. Just keep that stuff open. Keep driving correctly. Enjoy them. Thanks for throwing up that positive comment.
Cooney Garage says, gutting cars are only for strictly race cars or if you're getting paid. Keep your AC and your seats, people.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. But I also have to tell you that I probably have built 10 cars of my own. And the first thing I did was rip out everything. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Including the AC.
It was the first thing I ripped out.
Okay, yeah.
The only one that I tended to keep in more than not was the power steering stuff. I really did like power steering. It had this whole power assist thing,
Let's see.
But I agree with that now. Yeah.
Drifter Gone Wild says it's painful to drift clean cars. That's why we sold our Corvette.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I feel. I think it's the same way for racing cars. Now, I have a lot of respect for those dudes that straight up can buy a GT3 RS and go right onto the track and feel like they can push it. I know that I don't have the cojones for that.
Slaughter Boys says, I think he's asking about your 350Z. What spec wheels do you run in the back?
In the rear of my 350Z, I currently am running 1810.5 out of 22.
Nice. Let's see. We got
Warren with a 305 tire.
Oh, big boy. Yeah. Warren T, what is your opinion on carbon fiber wheels? Koenigsegg uses them in their hypercars.
Yeah. Okay. This is going to be a little bit winded, so I'm going to try to condense it down. I don't like carbon fiber wheels. I think composites are strong until they're not. And what I mean by that is, look at that little submarine that went down to the Titanic. It was a lot of carbon composite. It was super strong until the day it had a failure, and then it was completely imploding, right? Now, a slightly different situation, but what happens with carbon wheels or composite wheels is, yeah, they're stronger than, let's say, a forged wheel. They're lighter because they're composite wheels. I think they make a great wheel until they don't. When they crack, when they enter into a thing, because they can't bend, there's less elongation, and they tend to shatter, leaving you with a pretty catastrophic failure. Now, let me throw the caveat to this, because there are a lot of carbon fiber wheels that I think are good, and let me explain to you the difference. The difference is that a lot of the carbon fiber manufacturer companies now are actually coating the carbon and putting that extra carbon around a forged aluminum wheel center. Okay, and so what they're doing is they're using that to kind of create some of that elongation, but they're using the carbon fiber to keep the weight down and to be able to try to to give it some extra strength properties. So I think there can be a good way there. I just think it's a lot of money. I mean, you're gonna probably spend every bit of $12,000 to $25,000 on a set of carbon fiber wheels, and then when you get them, I just think there's a lot of liability there for the average person. So I think that the really high end.
Can carbon fiber flex?
Not really.
Not really. It's pretty brittle, isn't it? I mean, it's...
I don't know if I say it's brittle. I think it's hard, and I think when you get to a certain level of hardness, yeah, you don't have that flex. And I think that they'll do things. Composites can have flex materials, so there's a lot of research being done, and I believe that there's a lot of companies that have gotten it way better. But at some point, if it's not the one with the aluminum structure, at some point you are gonna have a crack, and it's gonna, So that's my take on it. Personal opinion.
Cooney Garage says DC2 is the best.
Yeah, I like DC2. I think, obviously, Championship White, DC2 is my favorite. The second one would be the Phoenix Yellow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, Slaughter Boys, I misinterpreted your comment. They were asking what wheels are in the back behind you.
Those two that's wheels. Fair.
Yeah.
These wheels?
Yep.
So this is one of the Konig forged F3Ss, and this is one of the Konig forged F1Ms.
Nice.
This is the ash silver finish, and this right here is the satin charcoal.
Love that bottom wheel.
Yeah, it's sick.
Let's see, we got Jesse James says spree wells. I'm not really sure what that means.
I mean, there was a
Latrell
time and a
spree
place
wells?
for him.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
he's talking about the
Oh,
spinners.
right. Okay, I remember.
Yeah.
Track days.
They were big for a while.
Let's see.
Expensive stuff, too.
Warranty says, great answer on carbon fiber wheels. He knows his stuff.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it.
Slaughter Boys. No, I was asking about the wheels behind him. Yep, gotcha.
Sorry about
let's
that.
see, my bad.
We got super self-indulged there, and we just thought it was about us.
Yeah. He also says he likes the concavity on both those wheels.
Yeah. I
they're
mean,
super
obviously,
concave.
they're different. Now, let me tell you what we did on our. If you go to konigforge.com or if you go over to store.konigwheels.com right now, you will be able to see the forged wheels. And if you scroll down when you get to one of those forged pages, we actually have all the profiles, so you can see what every single wheel will look like in person based off of your fitment. So you don't have to guess when that wheel comes to you, what is it going to look like? How much concavity? How did it change? Just go down there, click on it. You can look at an actual render of the wheel in that particular size and spec.
All right, final 5 minutes. Anyone that's got any questions, pop them in the comments below for Scott. Track Day says, just go hydro dip a set of forged Konigs in the carbon.
Okay.
In the carbon, no one's going to know.
Okay.
I love that. No one's going to know.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got, what is the name of the two wheels behind you?
Yeah, so I haven't mentioned it before. It's the Konig
size.
Forged F3S, and this is the Konig Forged F1M. And did you say size?
We're also asking about the size of the two
So
wheels.
I don't know offhand. I think this is an 18 10 and a half. This
Ooh.
could be an 18 by 11. Might be an 18 by 12. I didn't look at the back. This is, I believe this is an 18 by
10 and a half?
10 and a half?
Yeah.
10, something like that. Yeah, I think that's about right.
Drifter Gone Wild says, we flew from Austin to New Jersey for FD, no problem, super easy.
Oh, that's awesome. Except you probably went to Newark, which would make sense. And
that's easy.
Yeah, I would like to
That's
go from
easy.
JFK to LaGuardia.
Yeah, let's see.
Newark
We
is
got, who's on the podcast today? Asking.
Who's on the podcast? Oh, it's
You and
Doubt,
Dow.
it's Doughton and I. We're talking about wheels. So here was our thing for the podcast. For those that didn't catch it earlier, today's podcast we talk about people telling us that their wheels are rusting. It's kind of good. It's kind of humorous, but there is an answer. So we talk about it there. Go a little bit into wheel cleaning, a couple different things with coatings. But it's kind of a fun one. It's just Doubt and I riffing. We weren't really even going to try to talk about the topic, and kind of ended up there.
Did you see the preview reel with the zoom in on your face where you're like,
No.
aluminum doesn't rust, and then
No.
I got a bunch of people commenting like, aluminum does rust.
You know,
I'm like,
this is where it gets. Aluminum oxidizes. It doesn't rust.
Right.
And I know that they're like, anyhow, it doesn't matter. With that said, don't forget to tune into Friday's piece content. We're going to talk about the history of the Type R. Not the Civic Type R, but the entire designation Type R that Honda came out with. Did a little historical piece. Go over to our YouTube channel, KONIG WHEELS USA. Get subscribed, because that's what friends do. And then check out that piece of content.
I love this one. You guys should make a 2 or 3 piece Mark 1 version.
Yeah, I understand
That
why you
would
would
be
say that.
cool.
And I do think it would be cool, but I don't like 3-piece wheels. 2-piece wheels I would do if it was, kind of a 2-piece welded, but that kind of takes away from the whole point of doing it. Anyhow.
Or like a Mark 1 with a lip, you know?
Yeah, we had it. Look at the iteration video that we did on the Mark 1 page. If you look at the iterations of the Mark 1, we did a whole video of that on our YouTube channel, and we kind of showed you all the things from conceptual start to end there.
We got CH saying, I miss my Konig wheels. Konig wheels are good, in my opinion.
Well, thank you. And you are good, in my opinion. Yeah.
Kyle says, let me get some wheels, gang.
Sick.
Actually, they say, let me cuff some wheels, gang.
Oh, I
Is
like
that what the
that.
cool
That's
kids
hip.
say now? Man,
Yeah,
me and Scott
cool
are so
kid
out of
stuff,
it. So,
man.
yeah. Let's see. Someone else asking favorite Type R. We said DC5, right?
DC2.
Oh, DC2. Oh, man, mine might be a DC5, though.
Not for me.
Let's see. Favorite wheels on FK8?
I think the Ampliform B profile looks really good on them.
And the bronze.
I really would like to see some of the Konig Forge wheels on there. So if you end up getting a set, let us know. You can get them right on store.konigwheels.com.
Perfect timing, actually. Someone says, I pre-ordered forged wheels 2 months ago, but haven't heard anything.
That's interesting.
That's weird.
you can DM us if you want. Give us the part numbers and where you ordered them through. We'll see if we can check it out. Unless it's something like that we had just added at that point and they took it early. That might be a reason.
That's you, Cindy. That's for you.
Yeah.
Mark
us know.
Zinchuk says, I have BBS wheels right now, but I'm looking into Konigs for my Mark 7 Golf.
Nice. Appreciate it. Look at our Konig Forge stuff. I think, you know, that F1M may be really right up your alley.
So we got GTI or STI? It's a good question.
Is that what was asking me?
This is someone else.
GTR or STI? I take the STI. Well, not the brand new STI. If you go down a generation or so, I take the STI.
Gotta take the STI, all right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Did you guys hear about that new Toyota engine?
You're talking about the all-fuel engine?
I tried to look that up the other day. I couldn't find much.
Yeah, it's that I think that's what he's talking about. But yes, I did.
Let's see. I think we might be all caught
Cool.
up. Yeah, we're good.
Well, that is it, my friends. Thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. We do this every Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Sometimes we're a little bit late, and it ends up being 2:05 to 2:08 Eastern. But either way, we're here on Wednesdays. Never fail. So that's pretty much it. Make sure you check out the podcast that's coming up. How long, Max?
About 20 minutes.
In about 20 minutes on our YouTube channel, KONIG WHEELS USA. Also, if you listen to podcasts, you can get it on Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, and iHeartMedia. That's right. You can listen to them in the car. Do your best to not let us disturb your drive. Don't forget, podcast drops at 3 o'clock. Friday content where we talk about the history of the Type R. That's going to be on Friday on our YouTube channel. Get subscribed because I'm telling you right now, some cool stuff's coming up in the next month or two. And I'll also say this, for our people right here, make sure you get subscribed on our newsletter, on our website. Make sure you do that because there's going to be some really kind of custom stuff that's going to benefit you if you are. I'm not just kind of saying it this time. There's going to be some things that maybe will benefit you. Just get subscribed.
Nice. Can I give you two more flash ones here? Last one.
Two more.
Do Motors says, you guys got any wheels that are 18, 9.5, plus 22, 5, and 4.5?
If we don't have plus 22, we would have plus 25, which is 3 millimeters, which is like less than an eighth of an inch. I mean, it's not almost nothing. And I think we may have a 24, we may have a 22, but if we don't, we have 25, which is basically the same thing. So,
K Jinx, check out our FK8 fit check episode that we did on our YouTube channel for your answer there.
That's cool.
Kyle says, I'm a big fan of the Aero discs.
Appreciate that, Kyle.
And we're good to go.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. We will catch you back here next Wednesday. Take care of yourself.